Yeah, so I was sent this, sorry about that. I was sent this email, and it sounds like I'm like standing behind you, whispering in your ear, because I have to speak into a camera that is my old camera, in fact, but every time I use this laptop right here, it goes click, click, click when I'm trying to talk, and it sounds terrible. So this might sound better, but it kind of makes this look like an old, just from my vantage point, almost like an old TV, like I'm showing it off on an old TV screen. So it says, wondering if you have any insight on this. The WHO declared the coronavirus a pandemic on 3/11. The WHO. That's the idea. The WHO, man. It's like who is that? Who said that? Nobody. It's all BS. It's all just a controlled narrative. With it's elastic in that there's the scripted drama, meaning that you have the depending on what your mindset is. If you fall for any of this garbage, there's good guys and there's bad guys, and there's ones who are standing up for justice, and others who are standing up for law and order. And then there's some who's standing up for my civil rights. It's all just waste of time, man. It's all just gibberish. It's all just a dead man show. All right? The 2020, just like the 2020 presidential election, there's on 11/3. So really, this question is centering around the number of 237. What does that mean? And if we are in a time loop, all right? Because politics is a hoax. Nobody votes for anybody. They're just characters, puppets, clowns. It's just terrible. It's not even amusing. So the span is 237 days. Now, if you look at, like I told you before, the code of creation is simply, it's not deep. It's not deep. It's very basic. It's walking on water. It means it's right in front of you. It's right there for you to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10 is you, or the idea of the I/O, the input-output. So you have 9, 1, 0, the man, woman who is at rest, right? Reposing with their Creator, with their Christ mind, through which Jesus Christ gave them freely. And then a concern, a one happens. Then you go into this fallen system. So then when you look at intent, when you were reposing with your Creator, the same code existed. However, the intent was truth. Therefore, you received it truthfully. All right. However, so everything then has to still be looked at by that code. Well, that same code that is then stolen and reflected, having lost 33% of its truth, that 33% then is then reflected onto the masses, and that then becomes their light, their truth. All right. The thing is that their truth has no truth in it, because it is fallen. It is a lie. Therefore, that same code must be used, but the fallen principles or characteristics must be added to those numbers. All right. So the same numbers, everything always reduced in the end to the single digit. But as you collapse any number of digits, as you collapse it like a tower, floor by floor, you can gain understanding of the influences that is taking it down that road. Do you understand? All right. It's like a controlled demolition, but you can observe each floor as it implodes to see what the idea is. All right. Excuse me. So you have the idea of the 237 into always the next day, because in this existence you have always a cycle, a night-day cycle. So you always include this day and the next day in order to make sure that either a cycle has been completed or not completed. Okay? Because it's going to be completed at some point. Anytime you put into space a sound, a tone into space, a reaction, a reverberation, a result must happen. Even if you don't observe it. All right? Because you don't observe everything. All right? In fact, most people observe nothing. All right. So the 7 and 8, just look at the 3 digits. So the one we were talking about, the 237, which goes back to the idea of the Stanley Kubrick room on The Shining, the reduced down to like 42 at the controlled demolition level. Remember, down, kaboom, 42, kaboom, right? 6. All right? I could have spun it, though, at the next level, the 42, I could have spun it around 4 times 2, 8, which is what? The same thing. All right? Because the 6 and the 8's the same. It's the cube. Just if you hold that cube in your hand. The oblong cube, it doesn't matter what. It has 6 sides and 8 corners. Because it's the containment of an idea. This announcement, because everything announces its creator. All right? If you are of Christ, you are always speaking for Christ, meaning that is your first love. Right? But if you are of this fallen system, everything you do reflects that fallen system. That's why we can look at the intent and know the intent. So 237. So just look as we take it towards from the 2 to the 3, or from the 7 to the 3 to the 2. Let's collapse it. All right. Let's collapse it into its final state. All right. So the 7 is the idea of the Zion, or the mind. The idea of the 3, or the idea of the black hole sun, the Saturn, Satan, fallen light. The idea of the 2, or concern, the fallen concern in this case. So then reverse it. The 2 and the 3, the 5. The man becomes one with the fallen light. It becomes his mind. The 237. All right. The 238, the next day, the same, then the ending cycle. You slept on it, you woke up. It still was your idol. It became something, like a butterfly from a cocoon. Into your mind it flutters and occasionally comes into focus, just long enough to flitter away before you actually realized anything. Before you realized it was just a waste of time. All right? So continuing on. You know, this, of course, 237 on here, you look it up, it'll give you a bunch of fake history. None of it matters. It doesn't matter. Here, numbers, these people don't know nothing. They know nothing about nothing. All right, so then you have, of course, the film reference, which I was just talking to you about, but also the idea of the Stanley Kubrick. The idea of that fake false name, the Stanley, the standing lie, the Kubrick, the cube brick, all right, the cubed brick, the 68, the idea of the monolith, any idea of an oblong cube, the idea at the 9/11, and the reason I bring up the 19 cycle and the monolith and all of this is that the 19-year cycle that the 9/11/2001 into 9/11/2020 is the 19-year cycle ending, and you have the Hilton Monolith Hotel at that same so-called ground zero, where the 0 becomes the 1. Because the idea of the death, the 68 system, when you fall into this death, when you fall into that death lie system, you are just one letter away. See that 1 where you engage the death system? You're one letter away. The U, the 21st letter, the 3 reduced, the tone. You're looking at like a little baby, newborn little baby. Look, it's a 0. Look, unconcerned, innocence, no worries. But instead you choose daily death because you concern yourself with a fallen system that you know waking up is a lie. All right? Okay. Any questions? Any at all? Do you want to do this every day? Or do you want to wake up like a little baby every day? Alright? It's pretty easy stuff. So I'm going to be doing a video, not a video really, it's going to be a book that's going to start, it's only maybe 4 or 5 pages long to begin with, and I'll put it up on my community site. What it's going to be is it's going to explain the code of creation quite simply by paragraph at the beginning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, what each one means and how it interacts. And as you see it being built, if you start watching it at the beginning, you'll see it built, and then your understanding will then be built upon that. And you can always then test, retest. Once you verify it's true, then you won't need me anymore. You'll be off and doing your own thing, all right? Which is great, which I'm looking forward to, actually. So I can get some peace and quiet. I'm just messing with you. I love y'all. But be blessed. Cheers. I hope this came out great. We'll find out. All right. Bye.